Alright, click the links for Odyssey, BitChute, Gap, Telegram, join the channel, become a member, or check out, subscribe, start the various other links. So if you see this image as this is enticing you to watch a show, you see this image, you're like, oh, I'm not watching this. and it's like you pick up the comic book within the past 10 years and you put them down again, you realize, oh, yes, this isn't for me. That's all you need to know. You just move on. If this is on the Disney shelf, you'd probably be reconsidering, is it really worth $14 a month for Disney or whatever the hell it charges? I can't imagine paying for any streaming service. Not only because, I mean, they're supporting them or supporting the worst people on earth. I guess, I mean, I could say, you mean, you can find the stuff online, but it's not even worth watching for free, but it sure as hell is not worth supporting people like Netflix, who, those are the cuties people. If you support Netflix, man, you really got to take a look at your life. And if you're supporting Disney, it's like, well, they're the same type of people. It's like there's really no need to support any of these streaming services. So Pronoun Hulk has kind of already pre-failed. They started saying that since Ms. Marvel bombed, that's the, I don't know, this, it's like the Fantastic Four ripoff character. I forgot it was even on the air. What exactly is the demographic for a comic book that got canceled like every year? At this point, Disney knows that the bloom is off the rose for woke, pan, otherkin, Marvel. But, you know, again, it's a religion to these people. It's not about money to them at all. And what's the plot? An annoying little girl is repeatedly violent against blonde, blue-eyed men who are istophobic. And, of course, if you're istophobic in any way, that of course that deserves violence. I can only assume that nobody has actually watched it except for Joe Glass, who said it was stunning and brave, but turned it off after 10 minutes. It's not even worth sailing the high seas for. So Xir Hulk is coming out, which is a CGI abortion. And really, at this point, anything directed by a woman is going to be, I was going to say a bad sign, but it's more than that. It's just it's kind of an instant no. You really don't want to see anything directed by anyone who's going to be woke. And if thing is, if you're on any of these companies, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You're going to be woke no matter what. Nobody is working for Disney has similar values as you. So they're going to lecture us on like the patriarchy, or I guarantee there's going to be an episode. I promise you this, that covers pronouns. There'll be like somebody will correct a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man who mispronouns someone. So someone will correct them, and there'll be like a little hint of violence, and they'll just be a little condescending because, of course, like that's the only group you can put down are these blonde-haired, blue-eyed Christian men. Call me crazy, but like every cringe thing is going to be in the movie. It's like when Black Panther came out, people predicted what would be in the movie. It's like the first 5 minutes of the movie had the 3 predictions come to pass. And then I'm sure there'll be a lecture on how bad blonde-haired, blue-eyed Ubermensch are. Keep in mind Disney is run by Lucifer-worshipping lizard people who I think self-enjoy themselves to BDSM, Hugo Boss type of fantasies. She says she wants to explore the relationships of Xir Hulk, and the show will be a lot of fun. Plot twist, no, it won't be a lot of fun. And I don't want to see anything made by someone who looks like this. Pretty much, the only people who can make movies now are going to be the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, conservative Christian types, because they're the only ones who can make something that's not insanely woke. So this is CGI that kind of looks like a video game, but kind of from a few years ago. And technology moves fast, and people expect you to kind of keep up with technology. Even the best of the best CGI technology that you see on the big screen for those $200+ million movies, it's not really there yet. I mean, it's close, but it doesn't really feel like the character has the presence. It doesn't quite look good enough, even with the best budgets. You would have been better off going with the Lou Ferrigno model, or just making a full animation, because this looks horrible, like unwatchably bad. So that's a scene in the show. That looks like a video game. That looks like a pretty good video game, but that doesn't look like something you'd sit down and watch 30 minutes of. And I'm sure they're having some nonsense lecture. And I guarantee you, every bad guy is going to be the same cliche you see in this every friggin' Marvel or Disney piece of nonsense, at least in the comic books. I'm sure they play it down a little bit for the shows, Like if you want to see the wokeness, you really got to see the comics, because those are a lower investment, and the shows are probably playing it down a little bit. But like this looks freaking horrible. Anyway, I can't imagine watching any Disney or any stream. I can't imagine watching anything mainstream. Oh, I gotta keep up with Hollywood. You don't really have to keep up with Hollywood anymore if you don't want to. So the director is pushing how this cancer feminist lecture will have cameos by smarmy SJW Hollywood douchebag liberals who drive SUVs to private jets to fly to climate conferences to tell us to open the borders and, live in the pod and eat the bugs. Please get fucked, Hollywood. Open the borders and give up the Second Amendment while you hypocrites are insulated by wealth in gated communities with armed guards. All Hollywoodians can just go suck a bag of dicks and keep sucking. So no cameos by more Hollywood queef-sniffing Epstein Island Weinstein defenders won't help a show that looks like this. We don't need a lecture by people who are living in mansions with the carbon footprint of like 5 regular homes. Disney is run by filthy parasites who took something cool and absolutely destroyed it, as every show has done lately, from Lord of the Rings to Wheel of Time to anything you see. It's just, oh, we're updating it. You're ruining it. Are you istophobic? Yeah, fine. But two things can be true. You're still ruining it. So people I think are done with this cultural Marxism by these child-loving Hollywood types who support every bit of globalist satanic evil that their puppet masters are telling them to. Disney and Hollywood is 90% Epstein Island groomers. I can only hope that Chuck D and Flavor Flav's prediction about Hollywood comes to pass in that 1980s song. These are all Moloch-worshipping degenerates who should be excised peacefully and legally with constitutional due process, of course. Disney is to the point where I don't think people want to bother to keep up. At one time, a few years ago, at the movies, you kind of wanted to, watch all the movies, just kind of stay in continuity. And then Ms. Marvel came out, and you're like, oh, I just feel like I'm being manipulated to watch some crap. And Ms. Marvel got $1 billion because cattle soy boys watched it. Anyway, I think kind of Marvel movies concluded with that last big movie, whatever that last war movie where they fight the guy with the rings or some stupid shit like that. I think people are tired of Disney and Marvel. I got tired of them several years ago, but this is bad, and they're going to lecture us, and they're bad people. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys all next episode.